Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings and Yahoo for Thursday, January the 24th. We just have a 4-game Thursday slate. I'm going to go through each position, talk about some of the guys that I like on this 4-game slate, work our way through the player pool, talk about my 5 plays. I'll give 5 guys I like for DraftKings and Yahoo. We'll talk about them and why I chose them. But before we do get started, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. But looking at point guard today, you got Russell Westbrook at the top here. He's 10,700 facing the Pelicans at home. This is a really good spot for Westbrook, and this is just a really good game in general to target on the slate. Probably my favorite game to stack, either New Orleans, OKC, or Minnesota and the Lakers. This is a great spot for Westbrook. The Pelicans have really struggled defensively against point guards this year. To a little bit of a surprise, Westbrook has struggled in this matchup. He hasn't been that great this year against the Pelicans. Just 42 DraftKings points through 2 games, an average of 42 DK points through 2 games. But I would expect a pretty big game out of Westbrook here. I think he can easily give you 55 to 60 DraftKings points. It's going to be hard to decide between him or Karl-Anthony Towns. I think those are the 2 guys you probably want to pay up for on the slate. You got Westbrook at 10-7, Towns at 10-2. Can't go wrong with Paul George either. Paul George looks so good lately. He's 9,600. Those are the 3 guys you're going to want to consider paying up for on this slate. Right now, I think Towns is probably my favorite at 10-2. So that's probably not going to lead to me playing a ton of Westbrook, especially because there are some point guards I like in the mid-range, and we potentially have value here. So I'm not going to be playing a lot of Westbrook unless a lot of value opens up. Like Damian Lillard is currently questionable. If Damian Lillard were to sit, then that would obviously open up CJ McCollum at 6,300. That would open up Seth Curry at 3,200 as one of the best value plays on the slate. And obviously, if we can place Seth Curry at 3,200, then that would allow us to fit in Russell Westbrook, potentially Karl-Anthony Towns as well. Go with 2 studs. But right now, I'm seeing a lot of strong mid-tier plays. I really like Jrue Holiday in this mid-range at point guard. 8,200 on DraftKings. Over on Yahoo, he is $35. Definitely going to be in a ton of my Yahoo lineups. I played a lot of him on Wednesday night. Going to be doing the same here on Thursday night. Just without Anthony Davis, you do get an increased usage rate for Jrue Holiday. Nikola Mirotic got injured on Wednesday's game, had to leave early. There's a pretty good chance he does not play today, which just should help Jrue Holiday even more, so to see even more usage. He's going to play big minutes if the game is competitive. I'm not worried about it being a back-to-back. I expect Holiday plays probably 38 minutes if this game's competitive. He's going to be needed. He's one of their better defenders. They're going to need him to guard Russell Westbrook in this situation. He has done well this year against OKC for what it's worth. Through 2 games, average 47 DraftKings points. You take Anthony Davis off the court, I think we can easily get 50 DraftKings points out of Jrue Holiday. I like him a lot at point guard. Devin Booker as well makes a ton of sense, especially since TJ Warren is out. If you want to go to Devin Booker, it's 7,500. I think you can do that. I would try and find the $700 and get up to Holiday. But I don't mind Booker on this slate. Also, Derrick Rose at 6,500 is going to be a very strong play today if Jeff Teague is out, and I do expect that Jeff Teague misses this game. Jeff Teague came out and said that he could barely run, that he was having trouble running up and down the court, which probably means that he's not going to be able to play today. So I expect we get Derrick Rose starting at point guard, and I expect he plays about 36 minutes if this game is competitive. He only played 23 minutes in that game against Phoenix, but the game was a blowout. The Timberwolves did win that game by 27 points, so Derrick Rose really didn't even have to play in the fourth quarter. Even though he was not good in his time where he was on the court, I would expect a bounce-back game out of Derrick Rose. I think we can easily get 35 to 40 DraftKings points out of him, and he can be a really good value at the $6,500 price tag. If Jeff Teague does wind up playing, then you can obviously pivot to potentially CJ McCollum. If Lillard's out, if you can find a way to get up to Booker, you could do that. Or you could go down to potentially RAJON Rondo, who I'd really like on this slate if he's able to play today, and if he's not limited, I think Rondo might be one of the best point per dollar plays on the slate because he's probably going to be the starting point guard if he's able to go. Lonzo is out. LeBron is out. I expect Rondo starts if he does play. Right here it says that he does not think he'll have a minutes restriction, so should probably get about 30-plus minutes out of Rondo. On 5,200, if he's going to be the starting point guard and going to play 30-plus minutes, very hard to avoid. Rondo's always been a productive player, so definitely Rondo's going to be someone we need to keep an eye on. It's going to be one of my favorite plays today if he's able to go and if he does not have a minutes restriction. And then I did mention Seth Curry down here at 3,200 would be a really good value if Damian Lillard is out. It is a matchup with the Suns that the Trailblazers should easily be able to win. So you would think Lillard probably sits this one out, but it was kind of the same situation. The last time he was questionable, it was against the Cavs, and he wound up playing. So I guess Lillard might try and push through and try and play, but wouldn't be surprised if he sits this one out. So obviously C.J. McCollum and Seth Curry would be good plays. But let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard now. I did want to touch on D Rose on Yahoo. I do like him as well on Yahoo at 22. If Jeff Teague is out, going to be playing a lot of D Rose over here. Moving on to shooting guard now. This position's kind of the same guys I've already talked about. I don't really like Bradley Beal at 8,900 on this slate. I think I would just rather play Drew Holiday. Honestly, would probably rather play Curry for just 200 more. Shooting guard, I'm going to be playing a lot of the guys I've talked about. Holiday, Rose, McCollum if Devin Booker or if Damian Lillard's out. Brandon Ingram, I don't mind, especially if Rondo does not play. If Rondo plays, I think that's a downgrade for Brandon Ingram. But if Rondo sits this one out, then Brandon Ingram at 6,200 you could go to. Talking about value here, there really isn't a lot of value that I love. You can play Seth Curry, 3,200 if Damian Lillard's out, but probably going to be it for me. I don't think I want to play Josh Okogie. I know he had a big game last game. Played 25 minutes, put up 35 DraftKings points against the Suns. That's probably a situation I'll avoid. Don't see myself playing Okogie today. I think better value will most likely open up. So let's go ahead and move on to small forward now. So at small forward, you got Paul George at the top here at 9,600. Kevin Durant, $600 cheaper. Only $9K for KD today. But honestly, I would rather just play Paul George, even though KD is cheaper. Paul George has just been so good for the Thunder lately. I think he's done really well in this matchup as well. Yeah, through 2 games against the Pelicans, he's averaged 52 DraftKings points. So whereas Westbrook's kind of struggled, Paul George has actually done pretty well against them. This is a guy that's worth the price tag. I always was kind of scared to pay this much for Paul George, but he's been worth the price. He's given you a 45, 50-point floor, it seems like, on a nightly basis. And he does have a pretty big ceiling, especially in this game. It should be fast-paced and should be high-scoring. We could get 65, 70 DraftKings points out of Paul George. So if I'm paying up at small forward, he's the guy I would go to. I think if a lot of value opened up and I could fit in Towns and George, I would definitely do that. Or you could obviously go Towns Westbrook, but Towns George might make a lot of sense, especially because there are a lot of point guard and shooting guard plays I like. Small forward's a little bit tougher to kind of like find intriguing plays. So probably going to be playing as much Paul George at this position as I can. If I can't go to George, you can definitely go to Ingram, who I like if Rondo's out. If Rondo's out, you can definitely play Kuzma as well at 6,900. Josh Jackson at 5,300. I expect starts today since TJ Warren is out. Kind of like him at 5,300. I think you can definitely go to Josh Jackson today. Josh Hart should continue to start if Rondo does not play today. I expect if Rondo plays, then he's going to start over Hart, or maybe he starts over KCP, don't know. But Hart 4,600 if he continues to be in the starting lineup. You could definitely play him as a cheap option here, but I think that's it for small forward. So let's go ahead and move on to power forward now. A lot of good plays at this position. Definitely want to talk about Julius Randle, 7,800 on DraftKings, $35 on Yahoo. He just stands out as kind of one of the best plays today. No Anthony Davis, most likely no Nikola Mirotic. We're going to get massive minutes out of Julius Randle here. If this game is competitive, his price actually dropped on DraftKings. He's down to 7,800. It's really hard to not play Julius Randle today. I know Okafor's been starting at center, and I know Okafor's been playing very well. But I would expect Julius Randle's still going to be productive without Anthony Davis. He's going to continue to play pretty big minutes if the game's competitive. I expect he probably plays a few more minutes since Mirotic is out. And that's more shots to go around, more rebounds to soak up since Mirotic is off the court. So love Julius Randle on DraftKings. Definitely stands out to me as one of the best plays over here, just factoring in his price tag. Love Julius Randle today. Then I want to go down maybe to some value, talk about potentially Dragan Bender and Richaun Holmes. So right now, DeAndre Ayton is doubtful for this game, so it looks like Holmes could potentially play. Holmes is questionable. If Ayton sits, which it looks like he's going to, he's unlikely to play, and Holmes is able to go, I expect Holmes will be the starting center. If Ayton and Holmes both sit, like kind of happened on the last slate, then you're going to get Dragan Bender starting at center and most likely playing about 30 minutes. Right now I'm going under the situation that Holmes is in and he plays, so definitely like him as a value option. If Holmes is out, then you can definitely just pivot up to Dragan Bender, who will start. and probably play about 30 minutes. But if Holmes is starting and he's able to go, I expect he plays 30 minutes as well, and is very productive. He can definitely put up a point per minute. We could get 30-plus DraftKings points out of RAJON Holmes. To me, he's probably one of the better cheap value plays on this slate if he's able to go. It's not the best matchup against Portland, but the Suns really don't have any big men right now. No Ayton. Holmes is going to have to play as many minutes as he can handle, so I like him quite a bit today at 4,100. Definitely looks like one of the better values at power forward and center. Obviously, like if he's out, just pivot to Bender, who is 500 more. Bender's been very productive lately with Holmes out. He's actually been playing consistent minutes. I expect he continues to get some run off the bench, but I don't see him playing 30 minutes if Holmes is able to go. Holmes should soak up most of those minutes. But let's go ahead and move on to center now. So at center today, you got Cat at the top, who I do love on this slate. Only reason I'm not going to include him in the core is because we've kind of went with D Rose, Holiday, Randall, kind of were all expensive. Didn't want to throw a stud in there, but love Towns. He's probably my favorite stud on the slate. I'm going to be playing him a lot on Yahoo as well. But it's a little bit tough on Yahoo because for one, he's $49, and also there's great value here. RAJON Holmes I obviously like as well on Yahoo at $11, almost minimum price. He looks like one of the best values. Definitely want to talk about Jahlil Okafor as well. He looks like one of the best values today. He has really benefited lately from Anthony Davis being out. He's been very productive. Jahlil Okafor is still dirt cheap on on Yahoo as well at $12. His price tag still feels a little bit too cheap on DraftKings as well. He had a big game against Memphis in that first start, and then today, Wednesday night, as I'm recording this video, he had another big game against Detroit. 42 fantasy points, played 31 minutes, had 17 and 10 with 6 blocks. Okafor has been playing consistent minutes. He's been consistent, been providing you good value. It's not a good matchup against OKC, not a good matchup against Steven Adams, but if Okafor is going to continue to play 30-plus minutes, he definitely has to be someone we consider. He's always been a good point-per-minute player. If they're going to continue to give him run, especially on Yahoo where he's just $12, even on DraftKings at $4,900, hard to avoid Okafor on the slate. I think you can play him and Randall together and not have negative correlation. We could definitely get 35 DraftKings points out of Okafor and get 50 DraftKings points out of Randall. I would not be surprised if that happened. So you can definitely play both guys together. I'm sure I'm going to be doing it in a lot of my lineups. So I like Okafor as a center value, and obviously you can play Holmes at center as well if you need a value play. Love Towns if you can find a way to fit him in. Nurkic at 8K as well has a great matchup with the Suns, but going to be hard for me to play Nurkic over Towns today. I'm going to try and fit in as Towns as many lineups as I can. Towns and Paul George probably going to be the two studs I played the most of today. But yeah, I think that's it for this breakdown. I think that's it for the slate, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, make sure you click that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below or hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, good luck tonight on this 4-game slate. We will see you in the next video. Peace.